What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at the best meta goalkeepers. We have 3 different tiers and we have a few goalkeepers to pick from. We're going to show you the best goalkeepers you can get at each price. So we're going to start off with the cheap of the cheap. We're going to start with the very basic level entry. If you're looking or starting the game, these are the goalkeepers you want to get if you are looking at a very tight budget. Ederson, Alisson are my first two. I picked Ederson because there's no point showing both. But they are the standard goalkeeper, the ones to go for straight away. You could also throw Courtois into this as well. He will come later on in the stage, obviously, if you've not already seen. But Ederson is a standard keeper. Really like him. The kicking on him is absolutely fantastic. And that is sometimes just a little Hail Mary sort of tactic. Mainly because if you kick the ball up, 9 times out of 10, the defender will be ahead of your attackers, unless you've got 2 people playing. You obviously normally find that they don't give the ball up. You're not necessarily going to outpace them unless you've placed it absolutely perfectly. But the one thing I like about it is the fact that it depends on how your opponent actually deals with it. A lot of standard people will pass it back to the goalie. Easy, no mess, you've got it. But what some people will do is try and kick it back at you. That can lead to bounces, it can lead to deflections, and that can lead you into a goal opportunity. And the kicking really does it. You can't really get it with a throw. Alisson does have a better throw, so that is dependent on what you want. But Ederson is going to be my basic entry of a keeper. We also have Manyan, who again is a relatively cheap keeper, to be honest. I'm pretty sure his 89 honourable is actually not expensive at all because I've seen him so much. He's currently coming in at 77.5k. Great Serie A goalkeeper. Gives links to the Serie A and obviously France. So there is a multiple kind of benefits to him. And I think, again, very same like Ederson. Standard, good reflex. In terms of stats, you've got yourself a nice one. Leadership obviously comes for crosses, which is the perfect trait for me. And obviously he has got a long throw as well as some kicking. Ederson with 93, so an extra 5 on Ederson. So it just shows the levels that Ederson have over a lot of these keepers. But another very good option. So my basic keepers, Ederson, Alisson, Manyan, and Courtois. Are you tired of using players like this? I would much rather have teams more like this. Then I recommend going over to skycoach.gg for all of your coaching and coins needs. They are cheap, fast, and reliable, but at the checkout, make sure you are using code JT11 for a discount on your orders. Back to the video. And actually, I do have one more in Navas. In form for Nottingham Forest. He has obviously changed. I think it's a loan deal, I want to say. They may have actually bought him, but I can't remember the actual contract really. But another great cheap option if you are looking for a special card. If you want an inform, again, 89 rated. Cautious with crosses is the only downside to him. That is a personal preference of mine. I personally like comes for crosses, as especially for any sort of corners. You tend to find that you do get a better result with somebody with comes for crosses rather than cautious. But again, a 44,000 keeper, a very nice cheap option if you're looking at a high rated. We then step it up a little bit with Donnarumma. I know he's not necessarily had any other informs or any other specials, so he's still coming in at 200,000 coins. And yes, you could argue you could still go for the 34,000 gold card, but again, we're looking at a special card now, a little bit of an increase. Wouldn't say it's necessarily worth it unless you are looking for the dynamics and obviously have a little bit of coins to burn. With Donnarumma, he's always great because he's 6'5". He obviously again has rushes out of goal and comes for crosses, and personally, if you're going against somebody who plays a lot of through balls, I like to rush my keeper as much as possible. If I know that they can deal with it, I'll bring them out a little bit and then I'll stop them. And sometimes that can be a double-edged sword because I can bring them out too far sometimes and you can get an easy chip. But a lot of the time, they panic. They don't know what to do with it. I've managed to save a one-on-one, which more than likely, if I let them go an extra 5 steps, they're going to score. But Donnarumma's coming into more the mid-tier. I then have Casillas, who again, very much like a lot of the icons, I want to say, is a little bit cheaper than most. There was, this one's actually 480 in fact. So his World Cup's 260. That again is a very similar vibe to the Prime, because obviously he's 1 rating lower. Technically he's got better stats on the Prime, but the World Cup definitely coming in with some nice prices as well. With obviously this version, we're just seeing a step up now. And in terms of icons, they are going to be the best almost, because there is no other comparison other than one player at the moment. We obviously won't do another meta goalkeepers now, probably until team of the season, because realistically we're not going to get too many goalkeepers now unless we do get a few, like Donnarumma gets an out of performance based one or something like that. But Casillas, goalkeeper, long throw, team player, comes for crosses and saves with feet. So a couple of traits on him. Always had a very good reception from base, mid, World Cup and Prime. We've used every version this year, and especially the World Cup and mid were used for a lot longer due to them being in the second account. So it was actually a really nice goalkeeper to get from very, very early on. We then have Yashin. Personally with Yashin, I feel like he's very hit and miss in my experience with him. He is a phenomenal name, one of the only, if not the only, goalkeeper to win a Ballon d'Or, I believe it is, and in general always has a nice card. He's coming in at 820,000. Personally, if I was going to give you advice, I wouldn't go buy him. Like most keepers, to be honest, I wouldn't go buy. I'd wait for the untradeable. I would be still using Gold Edison if I didn't pack any other keeper. I don't see the point heavily on buying goalkeepers unless you are literally got everybody else and you are quite happy to spend coins on them. I'd probably go for the other two options that I've got in this list in a second. But Yashin has the hat. That's always iconic. Again, great stats, was the top rated keeper for a long time, and he has team player as the only trait. So for me, has to be mentioned, but I wouldn't necessarily say he's more efficient than anybody for price. In terms of a good goalkeeper for price, you're going to love a bit of Team of the Year Courtois. I'm interested to actually know what his price is actually coming in at now, which is a whopping 500,000 coins. Technically the highest rated keeper in the game at this moment in time. I personally really like his gold card. That is a standard first player move, but the Team of the Year is definitely going to be the better option out of the two. If you are looking at total rating and stats, it just has to be. Comes for crosses and goalkeeper, long throw for him, and in general I feel like Courtois is a premium. I've always liked the Team of the Year goalkeeper, and this is probably the first year I actually haven't used the goalkeeper after getting him, and that is down to one player and one player only. Team of the Year icon Van der Sar. He is immense, worth every single penny. I want to say he's around the same sort of price, or at least last time I checked he was. Okay, he's a little bit more, so he's actually coming in at 1.15 mil. When? Like, he was literally nothing when I packed him. I swear it was like 300k. So when I packed him, because he would have been out in roughly around about the same time. So at the minimum, he was about 660. He went up to about 800, dropped to 690. And ever since, he has been climbing. I have never seen an icon do that. I suppose with the Team of the Year icons, the supply was absolutely limited and the demand must have been really high. But this guy is phenomenal. I personally, if I was going for any Van der Sar, mid, prime, Team of the Year, I'd happily go for any. The mid's coming in at 400, the prime's coming in at 680, but this is obviously the best version. He's saved myself countless times. He's got a long throw, team player, comes for crosses as well. With this guy, he is just absolutely world beater. He saves everything. There's double saves. I feel like I've had the best results from this guy. And obviously, you will get hit and miss. I feel like goalkeepers are definitely preference based. I've seen people really love Cech. I personally don't. I've seen people say Casillas is rubbish. I've definitely seen the better side of him. I think sometimes you've got to stick with a goalkeeper and see if he works for the long term rather than giving him 5 games, 10 games, because you could literally have the best 10 games or the worst 10 games and you just judge him based off that. There's got to be some serious kind of game time with him to know who is doing the best. But Van der Sar, by a landslide, has been absolutely incredible for me. I feel like he's the best keeper you can get, and clearly a big price increase. I really didn't expect him to be over 1.15 mil. I would say he's worth it personally. From my experience with him, we're nearly cracking onto 200 games now, and he has been absolutely exceptional. So let me know down below your goalkeeper or your projected want of a goalkeeper. Who do you want coming in soon? Is there a team of the season that you fancy, or you just want somebody like a Van der Sar or obviously a Courtois in your team? Let me know down below. Make sure you like and subscribe on this video, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.